national anthem.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring, ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun, our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Next, we will have the blessing prayer by our parliamentarian, Charles Winfrey.
Thank you, Zaire. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking your blessings upon this great organization, this dynamic conference, its attendees, and each of our honorees. Continue to bless the work of Black theaters throughout the diaspora, and help us, O Lord, to remember whose shoulders we stand upon and the purpose they have passed down to us. We also ask that you bless the food that we're about to receive for the nourishment of our bodies. With all these blessings in your holy name, amen.
Amen.
Okay, now is the really important part, right? So that I'm gonna lead you to the buffet, and I'll tell you when to go, kind of, just so that everybody's not going at the same time. So we're gonna start first with our honorees, and that includes our student honorees as well, and the past presidents, and this table right here. You may go to the buffet.
Yeah, I'm just ready for rehearsal to be over, and it was. Well, that next morning, before rehearsal started, I got a text message from Mr. Vogt. And he checked me in a brotherly way. But the first thing he did was apologize. He said, if there was anything that I did, let me apologize. But he said, secondly, but you can't shut down like that, man. And I said, you know what? First, thank you for apologizing. And second, you're right, bro. I appreciate that. And that's what a brother does. And then secondly, when he directed me at Top Dog and Underdog, I'll be honest with you, young people, I'm gonna tell you there's a lesson in this. Keith was in a room when I had auditioned for a show. And it went well, and I saw Keith like, man, you did your thing. I didn't book it. And I was telling Keith about it. I said, man, I ain't book it, bro. I'm disappointed. And I'll be honest with you, you know how you, as actors, you pissed off, you're like, man, whatever, I ain't booked that show, I'm mad. Bump theater right now for a second. I'm pissed off, I'm gonna stay pissed off. I want to stay pissed off for a second. But he's like, no. I'm like, I don't care. He said, man, I'm about to do Top Dog, and I don't want to do it, bro. He said, man, what you gonna do? I don't want to do that. But then I was like, all right, I'm gonna come in and read. He cast me. That one thing, he cast me there, and I had a chance to meet a man by the name of Jackie Alexander, who then I built a bond with, who brought me back to direct a reading, who then brought me to direct at the National Black Theater Festival last year. All because this brother, Keith Arthur Bolden, was given Black intellectual brilliance, artistic bounty, bold leadership. That's Keith Arthur Bolden. Y'all got the right one.
What's up, Keith? I wrote these down because I might get emotional because this is my brother. Artistry is lived and personified. That's you. Your contribution to the field has been seen, but more so felt. Your heart, your capacity for listening, deep listening, your ability to evolve as a man, as an artist, as a leader, as a brother, as a mentor. Your acting is an extension. Your directing is that extension. Your teaching is that extension. As a thought leader and a craftsperson, it's been an honor to see you in practice. Self-taping you in my apartment, working on shows together, meeting here, doing hands up, acting together. I've seen you grow, and I've seen you never stop. The thirst. I remember we were watching Doctor Strange. I watched Doctor Strange, and you said, "Did you see how Benedict Cumberbatch used his hands?" And you taught me how to watch film. You taught me how to be a better person. You taught me how to be a better professor. I've sat in your classroom. I've sat with your students. They are an extension of your professionalism, your lack of ego, and your giving spirit. They walk as peers, as colleagues, fearless, without shame, because they know they had Bolden as their professor. They live bolder because of you. It's not an accident that you succeed. It's no accident that the people who have the privilege of sharing space and time with you succeed. Your artistry and your craft are what people see. A lot of you saw the real, but all of us that are in his orbit know what it feels like. That's your impact. I love you, and I'm thrilled to walk beside you all the time. You always have my back, you know, always have yours. As warriors in this field and as men in this world, I love you, Keith Arthur Bolden.
Every time I see something he's done, or I turn on the TV, I say, who is that man? Come on up, baby.
Hold on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Brunch.
Should I say something?
Yeah.
I got 2 minutes.
No, you can't do that.
Dr. Thomas took 30. I know. She was good though. Thank you. Because I know so much about Dr. Fletcher from your presentation and the way that you presented her and loved her. So thank you for taking the time to do that. Y'all, I'll take 2 minutes. I won't be emotional because Chris already kind of squeezed that juice out of me. This is my first time really getting an award like this. I've been honored, but like an award with my peers, and I'm going to manifest this as the first of many. And I will say that, oh, thank you. Yeah, and I will say that this is really important because I came to this conference 2016. What was that, Chris? 2016 at the National Black Theater Festival. My first National Black Theater Festival, first BTN conference.
And I was just accepted as a young professor in ways that I never thought that I would be, because I had imposter syndrome. And what BTN gave me was power and confidence to walk through my campus at Spelman College and to walk through this industry with my head held high. You all did that for me. And just sitting in this room today, right? So there's circles in this room. I talked about circles the other day. So start with Ron Himes. So 22 years ago, almost in a month, Tinashe and I drove to St. Louis from Chicago for our first job. At the St. Louis factory. And now here 22 years later, I'm just looking at intersections, y'all. And then in my mid-career, I told you all how I got fired from the job in Milwaukee. And then I got booked at that job, Raising the Sun, Harper Stage. Well, Hana Sharif is here. She was the associate artistic director at the time, and the AD for that show was Sylvester Scott. And we kept our relationship, and actually, she was a Spelman alumna. And she's blessed our department. And finally, not finally, but another circle is Taki Karen. And so these two women just mean so much to me because of who they are, because of what they've gone through to change the American theater. And they've been sounding boards for me and support for me and my family as my wife embarks on this journey of being artistic director in the American theater. And I've worked with Taki twice. First on Neighbors, the Matrix Theater in LA, where I had to wear blackface. I auditioned, I came in on lunch break. I was working at Beverly Hills High. I came in on lunch break. And before I could make it back to work, I got a call from the producer saying, okay, you ready to do this? And I said, I don't know. I was terrified, but that's the reason I did. And then years later, Dallas Theater Center. Tiana, you remember, right? Dallas in the house? No? Okay. Nataki, actually, it was at a TCG conference. She said, brother, you want to work together again? She said, I'm doing fish clay making it. You want to do it? And I said, yes. And she said, you're my anchor. I never had a director tell me that you're bringing me in to be the consistent person. And coming from you, like that meant something to me, you know? Anyway, so, and then Dr. Fletcher taught at Indiana University. I'm a Capital. Capital was founded at Bloomington, Indiana University. There's a lot of intersections, a lot of circles. But I accept this award today for myself, like, but also for that little boy who liked all the things that everybody thought was gay. Tony Bennett died a couple of years ago, and I sat in my bathroom and cried in a way that I couldn't cry as a child. And these are artists that I love. Frank Sinatra, Dinah Washington, I loved tap dance, I wanted to cook. I would do all these things that people in my home said, that's not man. Right? But I still leaned into it. In theater, I'm going to say this one last story. Theater is my barometer of how intolerant I was as a human because of the house I grew up in. Not that it was a bad house, but I blame my parents for the fact that I love so deeply. I blame my parents for the fact that I can say things to my sons that weren't said to me. I blame my parents for knowing the voids that I'm missing that I can give to my sons. And I told my middle son the other day, I said, Kingston, my sons are Kingston and Kingston. They have my oldest, Keith Jr. I told him the other day, I said, I may not say all the right things, but I'm holding your hand now. And I'm telling you I love you. We're walking across the Alliance campus. And I said, and I'm able to do this because it wasn't done for me. And when you get older, you have children, though I can't fill the void, you will know the voids that need to be filled, and you'll do that for your child. So the barometer of my tolerance is because of a play called The Color Museum, which I just recently directed at an American stage, but it was also the first play I was in as a student, and the last play I was in as a graduate student. And I told you this the other day, I got to play Miss Raj as a graduate student. And I was so terrified to do it as an undergraduate student because of how I would be perceived, how I would be looked at. And I knew that when I was graduating from Illinois, I no longer gave a fudge. It doesn't matter what you think, because my embodiment is going to change your life. And I've learned that from most people in this room that I've watched and been friends with, and shared space with, and artistic space with, and conversation with. And I thank you all for honoring me with this, named after this phenomenal woman who is so much like my mother in terms of her hosting, and I am just like my mother. So thank you all for this very much.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My name is Andre Harrington, and I must recognize the shoulders upon which I stand. Dr. John Foster, K.B. Sane, Michael Dinwiddie, Artisha Omi Green, Luther Wells, Dr. Sandra Shannon, Greg Horton, Marvin Sims, Eileen Morris, Lorna Littlewood, Michael Pinckney, Ludina Thomas, Catherine Irvin, Adele Austin Anderson, Ronnie Washington, and Dr. Ethel Pitts Walker. Thank you. Welcome to our event. Yes, you may give it up to them, please. BTN honors the lifetime membership with the notion that our honorees are our family, our friends, and our respected colleagues. We also sometimes forget who was there when we began, who is there now. This year we are honoring Ron Hines and Beth Turner. I would like to, yes. Oh, okay. What am I doing?
You missed one person.
Pardon?
You missed someone.
Is it-
Don Williams.
Oh, I beg your pardon. And Don Williams. Yeah! Don, where are you?
I think he missed
I'm so sorry. Please, it's not from my art, it's from my head. Okay. Because I was just given one special task, but then it got folded into a couple of other ones, so that's why I got a little distracted. Please forgive me. There's no disrespect at all. That I did not want to mention Don. Without further ado, let me introduce Shay Waker, the Executive Director of Waco Theater in Los Angeles, a member of the National Advisory Committee of Black Seed, and a very dear friend of Ron Hines, to provide us with some comments, if I may say, and remarks honoring our guests. Thank you.
Good afternoon, family. So, we're gathered here today to celebrate and honor a remarkable individual who has been the heart and soul of the St. Louis Black Repertory Company for the past 47 years. And it's with great pride and immense admiration that I stand before you to pay tribute to Ron Hines. He's the founding artistic director, a visionary, a friend, a brother, and a colleague. A man whose unwavering dedication has kept the Black Rep open and operating, and has transformed the lives of countless Black artists and administrators. I worked with Ron as the managing director from 1996 to 1999, and it was my first job post-grad school. During my tenure with Ron, I discovered that not only is he a talented artistic leader, he's a smart business professional. but of course he is. It requires great business sense, love for culture, and a deep commitment to community to maintain a Black nonprofit organization in an environment that often conspires against you and undervalues your contribution. From the very beginning, Ron understood the significance of representation and inclusivity in the arts. In an industry where opportunities for Black artists were scarce, he took it upon himself to create a space where talent, creativity, and storytelling could flourish. With unwavering determination, he forged a path, breaking down barriers and empowering artists and administrators to embrace their unique voices and perspectives. Through his early artistry and leadership, the Black Rep has become a bastion of creativity, a platform for stories that might otherwise have been silenced, and a hub for fostering understanding and empathy. He has given voice to the voiceless, shining a spotlight on the rich tapestry of Black experiences and challenging society to confront its own biases. He has built not just a theater company, but a family. And we are forever grateful for the love and camaraderie he has bestowed upon us. So here's to a leader, a friend, a brother, and a colleague whose impact will be felt for eternity. Thank you for everything, dear friend. You have made your light continue to shine brightly beyond this day and to be.
That's me.
Oh, that's right.
On behalf of the Black Theater Network, please accept this honorary lifetime membership award for your tireless giving, and the organization BTN honors you. Thank you. Next we have up, who is that? That's why I wear glasses. Clearly I didn't have one earlier. We're going to hear from Michael Dinwiddie.
Wait, did Michael, can Ron say something? Oh, please. Of course.
No, you sat down. It was not my fault, right?
Come on, Andre. Give us time.
Okay, thank you.
You okay, Andre? Thank you all so very much. I'm humbled, of course, honored to be honored. As a student, when we started this thing, it was because a void persisted. And unfortunately, the void still persists. And some time ago, I found myself in the wilderness, wailing, trying to figure it out. And my life got better when I found the choir of you to join me, wailing in the wilderness. And I thank you.
Okay, fade in, fade out. Let's go back to where I was. Now we're going to hear from some work from Michael Dinwiddie. I think so. Please welcome Professor Michael Dinwiddie.
Thank you, Andre. I appreciate that introduction twice.
I just want to say that it's a great honor to be here with all of you. And one name I want to raise up with Dr. Fletcher is Dr. Ronald Davis, who worked very closely with her at Florida A&M. I just thought that's important to do. I'm here to talk about Beth Turner, and I'll take 1 minute and tell a story that will totally embarrass me that has to do with Beth Turner. In 1978, I was doing a play at New Federal Theater, Macbeth, the Voodoo Macbeth. And Beth's partner and friend, at the time her husband, Charles Turner, came to me and said, "My wife has written a play, and she would like you to read in the play." And I said, "Oh, I would love to. When's the reading?" She said, "Oh, in 2 days." I said, "I can't possibly do that. I can't learn the role in 2 days." That gives you an idea of how young I was and how little I knew about readings. And since that time, I have learned that you really don't have to learn the entire role to do a reading of a play. That was my introduction to Beth Turner, and that was many, many years ago. And I should say that now Beth and I are dear friends. She's a playwright, she's an educator, she's a publisher, and she's a theater director. She's had a distinguished career as a professor at New York University. She's taught at Florida A&M, Florida State University. She's won awards at the Kennedy Center, and she's directed many of our most important writers, Glenn Nottage, August Wilson, George C. Wolfe, Farrell Clay. To go on, I can go on and on, but the way we know her, how many of you are members of the Black Theater Network? Hands up, please.
If you're here today,
Everybody in here.
And there's a reason I'm asking you that, because how many of you have gotten your black masks?
magazine.
I don't have to say that. Beth Turner has for 37 years published, really from her passion, Black Masks Magazine, which is the major engine that tells the stories of artists of color, African American artists, and she really has been devoted to that. I'm very fortunate to be a contributing editor on that. You can't hear me? You're saying speak up.
Speaking to the mic.
Oh, you can't hear me? Me?
Right.
Oh, wow. Recently, Beth was inducted into the College of Fellows, the Kennedy Center, which is a great honor. And the reason she isn't here is because she was awarded a National Endowment for the Humanities grant to write a book based on her 37 years of articles in Black Masks. That's a good reason, but I still am missing Beth's presence, warmth, her involvement. She served on the board of the Black Theater Network for many years, and she is a great supporter of the Black Theater Network. So on behalf of Dr. Elizabeth Beth Mary Turner, I accept the Lifetime Achievement Award. Thank you, Beth.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is my honor to begin the introduction of our third lifetime recipient. And I'd like to point out that we've come full circle. We began these awards with Keith Arthur Bolden, recognizing his leadership, scholarship, and education. We moved to a national platform with the St. Louis Black Repertory Theater, and a worldwide reach with Black Masks Magazine, and we come full circle to another teacher, Don Williams. Don began the African American Theater program in 1991 at UC Santa Cruz, operating out of the Office of Student Affairs, not out of a department where Black literature was shunned, looked down upon, not deemed important enough to be produced. His second leadership role was in the creation of the Rainbow Theater. Rainbow, rainbow! Rainbow, rainbow! In 1993, providing opportunities for various student directors to select, produce, write, and create works from across the cultural spectrum. His theaters have included views of Wilson, Hansberry, Childress, Morriso, Milner, Bullings, others too numerous to name. But more importantly, his students are not all theater majors. They include psychologists, cultural studies, sociologists. In other words, he has broadened our reach, as it should be, into all of the areas that encompass the human understanding, bringing his students ultimately to become a part of the Black Theater Network. And every year we have been the proud recipients of their leadership and their talent as Don brings them to be part of the family. Don, we are extremely grateful. At this time, we will hear from Grace Lee Williams.
I'm elated to be here this afternoon with my siblings as well as our mother to celebrate and recognize our father, Don Williams.
Where are they? Where are they?
They're right there.
When he told us he was going to be recognized, we said, we're getting on the plane, we're coming out and celebrating, and I'm really excited to meet another layer of his community. That what he didn't know was that I had found a way to partake in being able to speak on his behalf today. Surprise! Growing up, sorry, pull this up real quick. Growing up, we believed that our dad was the hardest working man in the world.
Yeah.
And that's a truth we still believe today as he continues to pour out and give in so many different ways. So many have been blessed to call him a friend, a colleague, a mentor, a professor, a director, and even the missing DeBarge brother. But for us, he's always been dad. He's always instilled in us the true meaning of walking through life and not running. What it means to uplift someone else up higher than ourselves. And he's also always taught us that in all things to count it all joy. Today marks a significant milestone for him as he's recognized for this lifetime recognition. For his children, it's an opportunity for us to see that he not only talks the talk, but he also walks the walk. Yes, he does. That his hard work is not in vain, that all of his relentless dedication and work with ATAD and Rainbow truly means something, and that you, as his peers, recognize that, as long as the students, as well as the students as well. So today, Dad, today we thank you for a ministry well done. You've done an excellent job. We also thank you for chasing your dreams, because you've allowed us to see that dreams can come true through hard work, commitment, and a close connection to God. And lastly, no matter what they say about you, Dad, you're all right with me.
Yeah.
I realize I don't get an opportunity to speak too much, especially at places like this. I just want to say one thing. If this is my last opportunity to say anything in this world, and I think like that every day, I have to go back to the age of 13. Who in the hell is Don Williams? Let y'all know. At the age of 13, I did not go to school a particular day. I come from a family of 10, y'all. I'm a middle child. But I remember distinctly this one day, this one morning, my mother in the bathroom, and I hear this kaboom. She falls out. I remember busting open the door to that bathroom. She came to herself, she said, "Go get grandma." And I remember running as hard as I could, 4 blocks away to go get grandma. She came in her 88 Oldsmobile and she put the pedal to the metal. Before she took off though, my mother looked at me and she says, "Doc, promise me one thing." I said, "Mom, why are you talking like that?" "Promise me." I said, "I promise you, Mom." "What?" "Whatever you do in life, just do the best that you can. And keep nobody hold nothing against you." "I promise you, Mom." 1 week later, she passed away. There has not been a day my family was saved, my students here, that I'm always strive to do the best that I can. When I went to Michigan State, shit, I was drinking top shelf Hennessy. Come on, baby. Doing the best I can. When I got there at Michigan State, I recognized they didn't have a part for me. I remember auditioning all day and all night. You're not the right type. You're not the right one. And we talking 50,000 students at that time. Over 500 in the drama department. But believe me, them white folks got mad with me. Because I was doing the best I can to make sure that black theater was represented at Michigan State. My first theater troupe that I ever started was called the Last Minute Hookup Yay Theater Company. Yeah, it was all black, y'all. But to this day, right now, not one, not two. Think about it, folks. How many of the universities you know that you have a lecturer who now is a full-time professor that has 2 theater troupes that the department don't even run, we run ourselves. And I'm not up here patting myself on the back, but it's because of the work of the hard, dedicated students that I encountered. Of how they learn how to give back themselves. And my motto is, uplift someone else higher than yourself. If you ever want to be blessed in life. That's right. Learn how to set yourself down and extend those gifts that God has given you, not for you to sell, but for you to share. So I'm proud of my family for being here. I'm always proud of my students for being here. I'm proud of this BTN family for being for me. Because when I think about it, I've been coming to BTN well over 27 years. I got my stripes. And I know I still listen to legends like Woody King, because God bless him for being here. Yeah. My last thought is this. You want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go as a group. God bless y'all.
Yes, everyone, this has been a wonderful morning and a wonderful day. First of all, give it up for yourselves. Before I hand out our special recognition, I would like for the BTN board to stand and be recognized. That includes the board and the consultants. Please stand and be recognized. Executive Director, Dr. John Chapman, to stand and be recognized. And last but not least, the people who believed in me when I didn't believe in me. I would like for that conference planning committee to stand and be recognized. That's all I'm going to say about that right there. I should own stock in Zoom. Friends, in the interest of time, an event this size takes many hands to make it a success. And while I can't possibly thank everyone who helped me make this journey, there are a few people that were boots on the ground when I needed them. The first person is Brian. Come on up, Brian. All right. Brian from the St. Louis Black Rep has been phenomenal. He has been here. Hi, Ms. Renee. Good morning, Ms. Renee. Thank you so much for everything that you've done. Thank you so much. And speaking of the St. Louis Black Rep, I'd like to give a special shout out to the St. Louis Black Rep. Yes. So now that this conference is over, no more boxes from Renee Charlo will come to the St. Louis Black Rep. Who's my next person? Okay. I would also like to give a special thanks to Professor Gregory Carr of Harrisville State University. And he was my last person.
Wash you.
Oh. I would like to, do I have a representative from Washington University in the house?
I'm here.
There it is. And I would like to thank Washington University for the lovely hospitality they showed us on yesterday. We had a good time. So thank you, everyone, and thank you all for allowing me the opportunity to serve. Thank you.
He's a bad guy.
Oh, he got you. Thank you. All right. Is Indira here? Dr. Indira Edouard here?
The session is about to start.
Okay.
I'm just taking 6 sheets. You can go ahead.
Okay, well, I was broke. Okay, as we wrap up, I just want to thank a few people, recognize a few people. Phyllis Yolanda Stigney, can you stand up and wave? She just walked in the door. I don't know if you can stand up. How many of us went to live last night? Joseph, you were ever. I think he just stepped out the building. He was in the seat. Wasn't that a phenomenal performance? What is really phenomenal is he reminded us how to fly. And that we all move together, that melanated power, right? Right? Sometimes it gets kind of rough, and we just have to take a second breath and remember who we are. All right? Last thing, I know you just got fed lunch, but what about your mind? How's your mind this weekend? Have you gotten your food? Have you gotten the nourishment, the nutrition from these workshops? Yes, just a little. I'm sorry, Dr. Foster?
Just want to remind you of all the activities. The first 2 days have been amazing. The rest of this afternoon is just amazing. This afternoon is our time for our young presenters, awardees to present to you. Judy Deering Design Competition winners, the Edmund Scholars winners, and our monologue competition is happening. You don't want to miss that. So just make sure you're in place. All of it, okay? Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Indira, come on.
We are pushing the schedule back 15 minutes. We are almost at, yeah. So after you leave here, 15 minutes, would you like to say something? Okay, tonight, it's a 7 o'clock, if you missed it, it's a 7 o'clock performance live, and also at 3 o'clock, it was so good, I might go back again. That was excellent. Oh, I really, Joseph. Let me share how phenomenal he is. It was written and directed by Joseph. Yeah. Great job. Thank you. I also want to thank Disney. I forgot to mention Disney for their panel discussions. Thank you for being our sponsors.
Has them stand up if they're in the house.
Are you? Thank you. That's why you're my right hand man. Stand up, Disney, if you're in the house so we can recognize you and thank you. All right. Marshall Jackson. Stephen Gelty. We stand up high, Stephen. Clint Clark. Also the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis, Vanessa Cooksey, Andrea Purnell, Julie Higgins, and Anna Harbury. Another sponsor we'd like to thank also is the Southeastern Theater Conference with Tony Henson. The Black Sea with Dr. Indira Edwards. Jackie Alexander with the National Black Theater Festival. We appreciate and love you all. Thank you for your support. Please remember that what you learn, please put into practice what you learn. The people you meet is not, although this is a family reunion, this is a working family reunion. Remembering, we are envisioning Afrofuturism, envisioning Black theater, and that requires motion and activity. Because if you look at the paper, they are trying to write us out of history. But it's up to you. You have to work to keep us. We cannot depend on anybody else. I don't care what anybody else is doing. It's what are you doing? Right. What are you doing? How are you preserving the youth? How are you preserving your future? Some people I didn't recognize in this meeting, but I want our youth to stand up. BTN is working to preserve the Black theater. Each time we bring more and more youth to connect with you. Connect with you.
The Mabel P. Robinson awardees. Jackie also, could you stand up? Connect with these students. Thank you so much. And now, we are going to have a few words from Dr. Indira Iwaru. Thank you so much for always being there for the black seed, for planting those seeds. We're going to keep watering it and growing our future.
Thank you, Sahira. What powerful words to end on, and I certainly want to keep that beautiful spirit in the room. But I've been thinking all the last several days about the extraordinary trust in this room, and that relationships travel at the speed of trust. And so I think as we deepen our trust for one another, our trust for what's to come, and a look to the future, I'm very excited to take this journey with all of you. Thank you so much.
With that, you have a 15-minute break, and then you can head to your workshops.
Good morning. Can we have all the awardees please come forward for a group photograph? Just a quick photograph. All awardees on the podium, please. I know it's going to be hard, but all those who have a black, come on up.
I need to take some pictures and I ship out in 5 minutes. Oh, following your flight idea.